The age of consent. It varies from country to country, city to city, state to state. 18, 16, even 13 in some countries. I think Japan is 13, the lowest in the world. Brought up on by people behind lawmakers and people, adults. And yeah. Goals are 16, 18, 17, 15. No, not 15. I don't think it's no 15 consent. Not in the US at least. Yeah, let's get on with this. God, it's gonna be heavy. I can already feel the pressure. It's a touchy subject. I was watching Tommy Sotomayor. Talk about a completely different matter altogether, but towards the end of the video, sometimes he goes on. Sometimes he goes on a tangent, you know. But this particular tangent was actually interesting to me. He said something I never thought about, rather. He said, why can't, let's say, a 15-year-old girl, 14-year-old girl consent to sex with somebody over the age of 18, but they can do it amongst themselves, so therefore they can consent amongst themselves, their peers, yet if somebody's over 18, they cannot. He said that makes no sense. And I was thinking, I agree. I agree with him. It doesn't make any sense. This is coming from somebody who subscribed to how I lost kind of how many channels they're called predator poachers or pedophile catchers. They're vigilantes that catch people online trying to lure children and everything like that. Highly respect those individuals. Anything can happen if they approach these individuals, and I really respect that. Some people say, "Oh, you guys should be careful. They could have a gun." And all, like, you know, that's why I respect them so much, because they know what they're risking by going out and approaching these individuals, coming to meet who they thought was a minor and all that shit. I love to hear their excuses and what they say. Pretty much the same fucking shit as the last guy. And in some rare cases, they also catch women in the act trying to meet underage youth to have sex with them and whatnot. You know, all the stories vary. Some of them lie. They just lie. Some of them just come clean, you know. I mean, I love watching those channels. I'm subscribed to, like I said, I lost count. So I do watch those and I respect them. But it doesn't change the fact that this makes no sense to me. They can't consent to sex with somebody over 18, but yet they can consent to some sex with somebody who is among their peers. That is fucking illogical. I don't understand that. And this has nothing to do with appearance, because you have some youth, I mean not youth, you have some adults who are well into their adulthood and who look young, they look youthful, they're good looking guys or women, you know. And they actually could blend in with youth, with people that's under 18, some of these people. So that's why I don't believe looks or age have anything to do with what traumatizes these young kids or these tweens or young adults. Because I remember one person posted a post, it was like, she says, "I'm 15 years old. I don't know why they keep calling us children or babies," you know. I say, yeah, that's a good point. You're a young adult, that's what you are. 15, you're coming of age, so you shouldn't be called a baby. You shouldn't be called a child. Exactly. I agree. Young adult. They have a special name for adults that prey on 14 through 16-year-olds. They call them, I think the word is called hammerphile. hemophile, something like that it's called. I think it starts with an H. I've never heard of the word before. I heard it said once when I was watching one of Predator Catcher videos. I think it's called hemophile, something like that. Because a pedophile is a person who actually goes after 10-year-olds, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 11, 12. You know what I'm saying? Those are pedophiles. You know. So I was like, that was pretty interesting. So back on the topic here. It doesn't make logical sense to me, you know. And what I was talking about was that if they can't consent, like Tommy Sotomayor said, he said if they can't consent to an adult, they shouldn't be having sex among themselves either because they can't consent. So that makes sense. They shouldn't be having sex among themselves either. But parents don't give a shit. I mean, wear a condom, baby, and all that shit. You know, they say wear a condom, protect yourself, be wise. Always wear a cap. They tell their sons it's word for slang for a condom. You know, they pretty much they say, you know, be responsible when having sex. You know, but if it's an adult trying to fuck their shit, they want to kill them and shit. You know what I'm saying? Rightly so. I'm not saying I'm not condoning or say I'm disapprove of that, because I know if somebody was trying to fuck with my little sister, I want to kill them too. But the thing is, this is what the parents should be worried about. They shouldn't only be worried about, rather, the emotional scars that can happen to their children once after they have the sex with this individual. They should also be worried about the fact that they become a fucking slut or a sex addict, for that matter, as a result of sex being introduced to them at a young age. They should worry about that as well as the emotional scars they may have, because it can only go one or the other way, basically. You know, you can either become a slut or you can become emotionally scarred to the point where if you get married or something like that, you have a significant other, they don't want to have sex because they remember the memories and shit. And it's to the point where they can't have sex or can't make love when they get old because sex has been pushed upon them when they were children. And they despise it. They hate it. You know. I'm gonna drink that shit like cognac. But yeah, I was doing some thinking on this. Feel free to disagree if you like, but this is how I see it. What gets a person emotionally scarred, women in particular, or little girls? No, I'm gonna start with little girls. Or little boys, little girls, little children. Because children are not thinking about sex. They're not ready for it. They're not thinking about it. They trying to grow up, absorb the world. And when that's presented to them, they'll never push it, because they're not thinking about it. When it's presented to them, it's like, holy shit. It's like, it's crazy. It could either go two ways with them. They could, like I said, they could grow up to become sluts or sex addicts, or they will be emotionally scarred. Some of them will end up becoming lesbians or gay as a result of what happened to them as a child. So, but there are some children out there who are now adults who were sexually, I wouldn't say abused. They were introduced to sex at a young age. And to this day, it doesn't bother them to the point where they need counseling and everything like that. It doesn't bother them. I mean, they usually wouldn't. A lot of their family members don't know about it because they keep it to themselves. They just go on with their adult life. They wasn't like they were forced upon it. They found it interesting. But they're not going to tell their parents about it, or they're not going to tell their other relatives about it because they feel that, hey, I was young, it just happened, that's the past, I'm moving on. How do I know about this? Because I'm one of those people. That's how I know. I was introduced to it as far back as age 7 or 6. I had an older male relative in the family, was my cousin. I'm not going to go into details of what happened, but we had sexual relations, put it that way. I was about 7 years old at the time. And I didn't grow up angry at him. I didn't grow up emotionally scarred. I barely even cared about it. I mean, I think about it sometimes, but I just, it's like water under the bridge. It just passes and goes away. You know, I barely talk about it. I mean, I barely even mention it ever. So, but I'm okay as an adult. You know, it happened. You know what I'm saying? So, and as a child, I remember I wasn't afraid. I found it interesting. It was something new. Of course, I was like 7 or 8 years old. I think I was about 7, give or take. Let's just say I was 7. And I was like, And when it was done, it was done. I just went on with my life, and that was it. I've never wanted to do it again or nothing like that. He never. I think it happened more than once. Yeah, he did. More than one time. And each time it was interesting. I wasn't afraid. He didn't hurt me. You know, I wouldn't say, I guess I could say he was gentle. Because if he wasn't, be hurting, right? So yeah. So it was about maybe 2 to 3 times it happened. And that was it. I didn't grow up with him. It's not like I grew up for years. He was having sex with me, you know what I'm saying? It was like 2 or 3 times. And that was it. And then as I got older, I've also had sexual relations when I was about 10 or 11 with my older sister, my older half sister. And it was the same as it was with my male cousin. It was fucking interesting. Because at first I was the one submitting, and then after a while I was the aggressor. And just like my male cousin, I didn't push it on her. She came on to me with it, and then whenever it happened, I was excited about it. And when she would tell me we're gonna do it, you know, I was like, cool, you know. I was happy about it. I was about fucking 10 years old. I mean, I was exposed to sex at a very young age. I mean, if I could go back and change it, would I? Yes, I would in a heartbeat. I wish I wasn't exposed at that age, but I'm not gonna lie and say it was terrible. And it was like, oh my God, I have emotional trauma about it. No. Or I didn't find it interesting. No. I found it interesting in both occasions. I quite enjoyed it. And yeah, I mean, that's just the way it was. So I saw my first female part, which is called a vagina, when I was really young. I'm thinking I was about 5 years old. And I remember her name like it was yesterday. I think it was Megan. She was a white girl. Her name was Megan, and she showed me her vagina, and I couldn't get the image out of my mind at all, no matter how hard I tried, because I was like, I don't have that, you know. And it was pretty interesting with me. It was pretty interesting to me, you know. Combined with my cousin and my older sister, I was introduced sex at a young age, like I said, and I was sex crazed ever since, you know. I used to, I did all type of shit that was sexual. I used to freak my bed, kiss my pillow. My dad used to whoop my ass every time he fucking caught me doing it. But he never really questioned as to why I was doing it, you know what I'm saying? He never said it was somebody in a family touching you or anything, you know. He never even asked that question. figure I needed a girlfriend and shit when I was like fucking in my teens, early teens and shit. So I'm like, he didn't really question it. So I didn't really bother to answer no question. I didn't really go into details of why I was like that. So it's like, but yeah, and as I got older, it never went away. You know, as of now, I call myself a freak. I laugh about it now. You know, I like being a freak. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a fucking freak. You know, I'm a fucking perverted individual. What can I say? I mean, there's more stories I can share with you, but I'm kind of getting off topic here. But I'm just saying that there are children who were sexually introduced at a young age, and they're perfectly fine now. They're functioning adults. And sadly, there are some who went through the same thing, and they're not so functional. You know, some of them have sadly committed suicide and everything like that. That's why I'm just trying to prove to you that I'm not for pedophilia in any shape or form, because this shit can go fucking south. You know what I'm saying? Children should not be introduced to sex. I wish I hadn't, but it happened, and that was that. So, I mean, if it's a teenager, a female teenager who's been introduced to it, the reason why they are emotionally traumatized is because the way it was introduced to them. Some of them are particularly can't get the word out, particularly raped, basically. Doesn't mean they were tied to the bed and they had a muffler on their mouth and shit, and they was roughly, the sex was rough on them. No, they could be raped in a way where they were pressured into doing it. You know, like you've seen the movies. You know, you heard the stories where the little girls in her bed trying to go to a little boy. He's trying to go to sleep, and the uncle comes in the fucking room in the cover of night, and they have sex with the child. Shit like that. A kid wants to go to sleep, you know, but this creepy ass stepfather or uncle wants to bust a fucking nut while the mommy is sleeping and shit, and they have sex with you. That's akin to force, you know, and it traumatizes them to the point where it went a lot of directions that were like destructive, you know. So everybody deals with it different ways. Some people, like I said, they killed themselves. Some of them they have to seek counseling. They have anxiety and shit. And then when they finally meet somebody and fall in love, they won't have sex with them because they are traumatized for what happened when they were younger. You know, so nobody can sit up here and tell me that every single child or 13 to 15 year old who's had sex with a male adult or any boy for that matter will be traumatized for sure. That's bullshit. I look at myself, I'm not traumatized. That's how I know. That's why nobody can sit up there and tell me that. But yeah, I mean, it goes with the open of this video. It goes without saying that it makes no logical sense that it's like it's okay for them to have sex among themselves, but at the same time they can't consent to an adult trying to have sex with them. Like I said, it makes no logical sense at all to me. I figure since they can't consent to an adult trying to have sex with them, they shouldn't be having sex among themselves because they can't consent. Like I said before. Damn, that water's good. Anyways, feel free to comment in the comment box below and give me your thoughts, son. I was going to do like a live stream and talk about this, because this is heavily on my mind. I never really thought about it until Tommy Sotomayor brought it up. So if you feeling I'm erring or I'm wrong or any way, just comment in the comment box. I accept all comments. So, so yeah, I mean, whether you disagree or agree, give me a comment. And if not, you don't have to. So I don't know what else I could say about this subject. I mean, this is really uncomfortable to do. I pretty much revealed my past to you, so I had to, because to bring out the points of this video, what I'm trying to bring, I had to reveal what happened to me as a child too, so you can see why I think the way I do, why I believe I have, where my beliefs regarding consent stem from, or the results after the sex stems from. Because I know I'm not the only one in the world who's not traumatized by it. I know this. I know that for a fact. You know it. I know it. You know, and if you are watching this video and you are traumatized, for one, I am sorry that happened to you as a child. And it's bad. I hope you're getting proper help. Don't end it. You have a life to live. I'm pretty sure you got people that love you and cherish you. You know, don't let what this individual did to you as a child dictate your life. You continue to move on, okay? It's gonna be all right. Just have close friends. It's always great to have friends. I mean, I grew up, I spent most of my life without having close friends. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I wasn't lonely. I always occupied myself. But ever since I started having friends, you know, social friends and internet friends, taking down their number, talking to them one-on-one, it's a level of satisfaction. It just gets me to realize that we need each other. We need confidants. We need some people we can talk to, who we can trust. And that's very important, especially if we went through some shit in our past that fucks with us to this very day. You know, we have people that we can talk to and spill out the beans, you know. Develop that bond. That is very, very good and healthy for us. It's mental health, you know. Not to say that we shouldn't take the antidepressants and all that shit. I'm not anti-pill. You know, so yeah, man. If you got friends, talk to them. You know, I mean, I love when people spill out their beans to me. You know, I like to give them counsel and everything like that. Free of charge, of course. And give them some pointers, you know, to carry on. And I thank them for telling me that, you know, and everything. So yeah, man. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the consent thing. Makes no sense. I totally agree with Tommy Sotomayor with that. And no, like I said for the last time, I do not approve of pedophilia or adults trying to fuck tweens or young adults. You know, because if you ask me, you shouldn't be having sex under the age of 21. In fact, I can meet you halfway. 19. Under 19, no more than 21. You shouldn't be having no fucking sex at all. That's how I fucking see it. You should be focused on school, what you want to do for the rest of your life, growing up, having a good time, and finding out who the fuck you are in your teens, your early teens and shit. Sadly, there are a lot of teens today, all they think about is fucking sex. They're fucking 15, 14, 11 years old and shit. You have a fucking program, I think it's on Netflix. It's a program about these 11-year-olds fucking twerking and shit. Everything has to be sexual. They pushing sex on our children. And that is wrong. It won't benefit them. You have 11-year-old girls twerking. Twerking! I mean, what the fuck? I think it's called Candies or some shit. I forgot the title. It reminds me of that fucking show that used to come on television. It probably still comes on for all I know. Toddlers and Tiaras. You had these fucking little girls and tiaras and the beauty pageants and shit. And I heard that one time they even banned you having your children wear thongs. Little girls wearing a fucking thong. Fucking 7 years old, 8 years old wearing a thong. For a beauty pageant? What, you gonna have them come out with a fucking thong now? It's a reason why they banned that, because they saw a mother having her little girl in a fucking thong. Fucking sick. I mean, twerking to me is not just a fucking dance. Oh yeah, look at her, she can move it. No, it's not that. It's sexual. I jack off the fucking twerk videos, okay? You know what it looks like when they're twerking? It looks like they're right on top of me doing reverse cowgirl. Other words, I'm on the bed laying on my back, right? She's on top, but she has her back towards me. When she does the twerking thing, it's like she's fucking me. So why in the fuck, in God's name, will I watch that fucking show on Netflix for? Why? What the fuck is wrong with these parents? Everything is about sex. You got that music. For crying out loud. You heard about that recent video with Nicki Minaj and this other chick who I never heard of? Not Nicki Minaj. She's a Nicki Minaj wannabe. Cardi B and this other chick I never heard of that's called WAP. W-A-P. Wet ass pussy. That's what it's called. Even the video looks like it came out of fucking Channel 11 or a children's program or some shit. It's all colorful and all that shit. You have little girls looking up to this fucking Cardi B bitch. She looks like a fucking devolved rat. And yes, she's fucking ugly to me. She is. God, she is not cute at all. Especially her fucking attitude. I'll be damned if I'm gonna have my little girl look up to somebody like that. Sorry. I'd rather have my girl look up to somebody who's doing something with their life, that has fucking mundane goals. Shit, like, oh, I want to make this much money. I want to provide for my family. I want to be a good mother. You know, a real role model. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that fucking great as far as being a role model is concerned, but your daughters are better looking up to me than fucking Cardi B. I assure you. Fuck out of here, man. Oh my God. It's just it's everywhere. Kids can't help but think about it. You have little boys looking at porn and shit at fucking 11 years old, 12, 13, watching porn. It's easily accessible. Very fucking easy. Then they got the soft porn with the music videos. You know, you got the half-naked girls on the video games. I'm not trying to sound like fucking Nita Sarkeesian and shit, but I'm just trying to make a fucking point. Fucking fake-ass feminist bitch. Nita Sarkeesian, what a fucking joke. But yeah, you get my point. I'm just laying out why they think about sex so fucking much. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's what they think about. They ain't thinking about playing Barbies and going outside jump roping, hopscotching and shit. Playing patty cake. They thinking about wearing tight, skin tight clothes, looking pretty, and sex. But yeah, man, this video's gone long enough. If I think of anything else on this subject, I'll probably make a part 2. I hope I don't ever have to. Shit. I said my piece on it. That's how I see it. So yeah, like I said, just a quick summary. Just because that a child who has experienced sex at a young age may not grow up traumatized, that doesn't mean it shouldn't happen to them. Because they could, you know, or they could become a fucking slut. They should worry about that as well. And they're not responsible with it. They get pregnant at 16. They're fucking dumbasses. I mean, they're naive. They don't think to use a condom. They just want to fuck. And they have, oh, I'm pregnant and all that shit. They don't think anyway. So they should, like I said, that's further reason for me to say they shouldn't be having no fucking sex in their teens and shit. Far be it from me to tell you how to be a parent. And, oh, you can have sex with Billy, daughter, but make sure he uses a condom. And I'm going to take you to get birth control pills. You know, they're not responsible. Like I said, even if they were, which is good, which would be good in itself, that you are responsible and careful and shit, they shouldn't be having sex, period. Yeah, they can't consent to an adult. But they can consent with each other, huh? Makes no fucking sense. With that being said, this is Wild Chromosome signing out. Peace and love. And be safe out there and good health to you all. Thanks for listening.